started this series, you can't do priesthood by your own energy. Attempting to sustain priesthood by your own energy, you will offer what the Bible calls what? Strange fire. The Lord must be the one to light the fire. That's what Jeremiah experienced when he said, your word is as fire shut up in my bones. So even when I don't want to talk, there's something burning from the inside. I'm not faking it. You know the kind of prayers we're praying this night now. You can't fake the experience. Say, God, anoint me with labor. I want to labor. I want to now be concerned about what you are concerned about. You can't fake tears. Tears are not things that when you see somebody now that is not born again, then you start crying. You can't fake that. It must come from a fountain on the inside. God must light the fire. So the altar at the beginning is where the priest dies. When he dies there, it's just so that he's qualified to burn incense. He will take two things from that altar. He will take the blood of the animal that was sacrificed, and then he will take the coals, the burning coals from that altar. Now when he enters into the inner court, he carries that blood that was taken from that altar to the altar of incense, and then he anoints the altar of incense with the blood. And then the coals that he took from the brazen altar is what he uses to light the fire at the altar of incense. So the brazen altar and the altar of incense are connected by blood and by fire. This is why when Nadab and Abihu decided to take censers, and they put incense in there, and they put fire in there, the Bible did not call it strange incense. He called it strange fire. Because the matter before the Lord was that if you are going to labor with incense, I must light the fire. They lit the fire themselves. So a fire from the presence of the Lord came and did what? Consumed them. And this is not the first time that this happened. When you go and read the book of Numbers, Numbers will tell you of a group of people that were called Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Have you read that story before? The Bible says that Korah woke up one morning because he was also a Levite. He woke up one morning and began to challenge Aaron. In fact, he went to Moses and said to Moses, he said, all of us are holy. We are all consecrated. What was he saying? I am of the house of Levi, and Levi was consecrated unto the Lord. Do you remember that? When all other tribes were receiving portions, the Lord said to Levi, I am your portion. I have separated you unto me. But not everybody who was a Levite was a priest. Are you here? The thing about Levi was they were the ones in charge of the tabernacle. So you had singers, you had ushers, you had potters. These were the people who took care of the cleaning of the tabernacle, carrying of the items and things, ensuring that the place was taken care of. But not all of them were permitted to operate in priesthood. Those designated to operate in priesthood had to come from the lineage of Aaron. So Korah woke up and said, we are all holy. And by holy he meant we are all separated unto God as Levites. So why is it only Aaron that is performing priestly functions? Then Moses said, let's carry out a test. What kind of test? The test of incense. He said, every man go and carry your censer. Put fire inside and let every man appear before the Lord, including Aaron. And then the Lord will choose from amongst all of you the one he has permitted to come near unto him. Where do you think Aaron would have gotten his own fire from? Aaron, knowing what was the law, I think most likely he would have gone to the altar, the brazen altar, took coals and put it in the incense. But these men appeared before the Lord with censers, carrying fire. It looked like they were performing incense. But the Bible says exactly what happened to Nadab and Abihu happened to them. A fire came from the Lord and consumed 250 men. Why? They were offering strange fire. What was the strange fire? They brought fire. They were trying to gain status by their own effort, by their own hand. I'm saying all of this to say to you tonight that the call to priesthood is a call to labor, and it's a labor that must be driven by the Spirit of God. It is the Lord that worketh in us both to will and to do. The Bible says in Romans 8, I think it's 27 now, it says that the Spirit of the Lord helps our infirmities. So there must be a work happening on you, on the inside. If not, you will be like every other Christian. You will be laboring for the meat that perisheth. You'll be laboring. You'll be wondering now, why are some people like this? Why is it that not every Christian is hungry for God like this? And the problem is the fire. There's no fire on the inside. Nothing is burning within your vessel. There's no work of grace that is happening within your vessel. So you are not willing to labor with the Lord.